Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Madrid, and this is my presentation of early life environmental exposures to childhood obesity for Public Health 161 Environment and Human Health class. So first, I'll go over the agenda of this presentation. I'm going to start off with the introduction, then get into the risk assessment, then the results and discussion, and then conclusion and the references. So we'll start off with the introduction. So, childhood obesity is a growing public health concern globally with significant implications for the health and well-being of children. Recent research has increasingly focused on the role of early life environmental exposures in the development of childhood obesity. Key topics that I will be covering in these slides is to find the exposure assessment data of early life environmental exposure to childhood obesity, health effects of these early life exposures to childhood obesity, the relationship between dose and occurrence of these health effects in humans, the current exposures experienced because of this, the estimated occurrence of the adverse effect of early life exposure to childhood obesity in a given population, and at-risk control and reduction to early life exposures to childhood obesity. All right, now I'll get into the risk assessment. So, childhood obesity is a complex public health issue influenced by various environmental and biological factors. Early life exposures to certain agents, particularly those related to toxic chemicals and endocrine disruptors, can significantly impact obesity risk. And then in these few other points, I go over more in depth and elaborate. I'll let you guys take a look at that for a second. All right, and then this is my risk assessment continued. Children today are commonly exposed to various sources of these toxic agents, including plastic products, food packaging, and household cleaning agents. Anticipated exposures may increase due to the pervasive nature of these chemicals and consumer products and the environment. And then I go more in depth about the risk assessment continue with a few more points. I'll let you guys take a look at that for a second. All right, now I'm going to move on to the results and discussion. So I looked at six different sources and articles to get my data. And the first one, according to Early Life Environmental Exposures to Childhood Obesity, and its Episome-Wide Approach article, it shows a study they did to try and find out the main factor of childhood obesity. And what they found was exposure to maternal smoking during pregnancy, childhood exposure to indoor and outdoor air pollutants, childhood passive smoking exposures, childhood residence in more densely populated areas, and attendance at school in areas with few faculties were associated with an increase in childhood BMI. And then I make another point about that child BMI. You guys take a look at that for a sec. All right, and then I continued the results and discussion um, with my second article, which, according to Environmental Exposures in Early Life and General Health and Childhood article, it recognizes that early life period of childhood's life is a very vulnerable one, as children at a very young age get exposed to many different things in the environment, and since their immune system aren't fully developed, then if they are exposed to hurtful environmental factors, then they could be at risk being obese as a child, among other things. But this article didn't really elaborate on the main points due to the investigation being incomplete. And then I go on to explain what happened in the third article. I'll let you guys take a look at that for a second. All right, now I'm going to move on, and the results and discussion continue. As this is the fourth article, I went on to say, according to the article, early life exposure to traffic-related air pollution and child anthropometry, it discusses how childhood obesity is a serious health concern and discusses topics that the other articles haven't touched on, like how genetics, socioeconomic characteristics, and exposure to environmental obesogens can influence childhood obesity. And then I went on to discuss a study done in Cincinnati and how there wasn't enough data or evidence to prove the point. But I appreciated how it took another look at this environmental issue. And then I went to explain the fifth article, which I'll let you guys take a look at for a second. All right, now I'm going to move on to results and discussion continued. This is my final point, which was the sixth and final article that I looked at, and according to the individual and joint effects of the early life ambient exposure and marital pregnancy obesity on childhood obesity, overweight, and obesity article, it discusses in great detail how children can be exposed to environmental factors that cause obesity even before they're born and while still in the mother's womb. And then I went on to make another point and put some numbers in there to show you guys. I'll let you guys take a look at that for a second. And now I am going to move on to the conclusion. So, in conclusion, the evidence from these studies underscores the significant role of early life environmental exposures in development of childhood obesity. Addressing these factors requires a comprehensive approach that includes reducing exposure to harmful pollutants, promoting healthy lifestyles, and ensuring supportive environments for children and their families. Make sure to raise little kids in healthy environments and keep little kids away from harmful things, and make sure they are living a healthy lifestyle early on will make sure they don't fall victim to obesity later in life. By understanding and mitigating the impact of these environmental exposures, we can take crucial steps towards preventing childhood obesity and promoting long-term health and future generations to come. And then I'll let you guys take a look at my references for a sec. These are the 6 sources that I used. All right, and just thank you guys for watching my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.